Yeah, top of the order making their way down the hill as we prepare to kick off the 2023 North American Youth Jumping Championships here in the Turtle Creek Casino International Ring. First order of business on our Wednesday schedule will be the children's first individual qualifier at table A against the clock. With no jump off, we'll keep our top 6 to ride for ribbons. Ribbons through 10th placing to 12. All scores today, faults from the best of 3 athletes today will be carried forward towards.
Well, very good morning from Traverse City, Michigan. Back with the 2023 edition of the Gotham North FEI North American Youth Jumping Championships presented by USHJI. It's going to be a very exciting week here in northern Michigan for these young riders. Quite a squad of riders came for this year's edition of the Jumping Championships. We also have the Dressage Championships taking place just one arena over. But for today, it is the children's first competition, first individual qualifier for the meter 15 height, and quite a lineup of pairs coming forward. We have 17 entries here in today's first qualifier. Amelia Burnside, riding for Zone 2, is going to be our leadoff rider. She's aboard Casper Van Het Leilahoff, showing the way over this first round track. Quite a few technical challenges here today. Still an inviting course, but have to set the bar high. The end of the week, it's not about who places best in this particular class. It's about who shows the ultimate consistency over all 3 days of jumping. They'll also have a team final and an individual final. These young riders learning the ropes of a championship format at the lower fence height, dipping their toes in the water. And Amelia putting in quite a nice round so far. It's not a speed round per se. You want to keep your eye on the clock. But ultimately it's just about keeping those fences up. Any ties at the end of the 3 days of jumping would result in a jump off, wouldn't go to the time tiebreaker from today. So clear it is, 71-74 for Amelia Burnside, first out of the gate with Casper Van Het Leilahoff. So stellar first round there, setting the bar high. And off to a great start for her appearance here at the FEI North American Youth Championships. And on to our second rider, riding out of Zone 7, Michaela Munson rides Charlene, entry owned by Genevieve Munson. Charlene is 15 years old, Holsteiner mare by Clarimo. These riders coming forward representing their zones, particular regions of the United States. Zone 7 is made up of Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, and Missouri. And as they go into their team competition, they'll be riding for their zones, hoping to take the top prize home. But they're riding for both teams and as individuals here. Very similar format to that you see at the World Championships and the Olympic Games. So at this level, really giving them a glimpse of what that championship format would look like and the consistency required to really thrive. So far, these riders doing an excellent job navigating this course, conquering their nerves. Surely nerves are high. This is a very big stage. But they have qualified their way to get here. So every rider very deserving of their opportunity. a little bit slower than the first round we saw. Hopefully won't run into time penalties, and looks like just is going to take over. So time allowed 79 seconds. 2 penalties to add on top of a clean slate, so 0 for jumping, but those 2 time penalties might just sneak up on them later this week. They will carry over into the scoring as we move forward through the days of competition, but still a good score to bring forward. 2 time penalties, definitely preferable over a rail, which would be 4 penalties. So we have a clear and a clear with time. So no rails yet in this children's first competition. Moving on in the order to Haley Guidry. Esmeralda EHZ is the ride for Honor Hill Farm for Haley. 11-year-old Zangerscheid mare by Emerald. Haley, a top children's jumper competitor. She actually leads the standings right now with her other horse in the NAL and Washington standings. Hoping to make it back to both of those indoor events. But this one also a very competitive ride for her. Riding for Zone 4, which is the southeastern part of the United States. Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee. So quite a few of our Zone 4 riders based out of Florida. Big equestrian destination, especially in the winter. Very petite build on this horse, but looks like a horse really made for speed. Gets across the fences quick as well, but Haley really making the mare pay attention to her. Quite an effort there over that oxer. And at this event, speed will only come into play as a tiebreaker for any of the medals. So if we have a tie on team day, there might be a team jump off. If we have a tie for the individual, there likely will be an individual tiebreaker. So the speed could come in handy, but it is the 0 that she needed to carry forward to potentially put her in that top spot at the end of the week. Haley Guidry and Esmeralda come home clear. So still not a rail touched. First 3 have gone, and all 3 fault-free, minus a few time faults. Jordan Rich is our next rider, representing Zone 1. She rides Gina Colada. Ride owned by Hazelbrook Farm. It's a 12-year-old Dutch warm-blood mare by Indoctro. It's a very well-bred horses in this starting order. Some top sires. So we're going to take her shot at this first individual qualifier course. Of course, these riders showing here at the 1.15 m height likely all have aspirations to jump at the pinnacle height of the North American Youth Championships, the 1.45 m section of young riders. They kick off their training session here today. And then the young riders get underway on Thursday evening. Oh, and a rail comes down there for Jordan. Skinny vertical there at the B&D Builders. So just has to make sure she maintains her confidence the rest of the way around, and unfortunately a second is going to come down there. So total of 8 for Jordan Rich and Gina Collada. So just a little trouble there at some of the verticals. Maybe not quite as balanced as the horse could have been. But again, any round here at this event is a very valuable learning experience. And still has several days of competition to come back and redeem herself. Nico Lario up next for Zone 10, aboard Pegasus Lewis for Estancia Farms. 10-year-old gelding by Lord Zed. And Zone 10, comprising the West Coast, California, and Nevada. Quite a contingent here from Zone 10, most of those riders California-based. Had to travel quite a bit to get here to Michigan. But Zone 10 always does well at these North American Youth Championships. Some top talented riders. Looks like a pair really destined for the top. Riding this very well, still on the clear, just 2 from home. Clearly a horse with plenty of jump. Clears the last, and time is good. So clear round there for Nico Lario. Pegasus Lewis. So another to add to the clear slate list. Currently 3 fault-free. Evan Werner, next to go, representing Zone 7. CC Contador DWB is his ride. He owns himself. 9-year-old Danish Warm Blood by Contendro. Putting in a very beautiful round. Ooh, a bit of hesitation there at that vertical. But Evan added leg, made sure that they got up and over that. So clears the last, and it is unfortunately just 3 on the clock there for that pair. Just a bit too steady around that course. But still timed well as to not tick over into 4 jumping faults. That would then put you at a disadvantage, put you right up there with all those with 1 rail down. So still going to be ahead of those pairs, but unfortunately not going to be a completely clear slate. Layla Murad up next for Zone 4. Alphonsine Mancias. It's the ride for Leaden Ridge Farm, LLC. 13-year-old Self Francais by Kashmir van Schutterhoff. Big spot into that double, but backs off really nicely. Unfortunately, it just gets a little bold there to that vertical, a little too close to it. It's a tough vertical with the box underneath it. You can't quite see it from the live stream angle, but very bottom heavy, draws the horse's eyes down. Looks like the horse is just getting a hair strong, but Layla handling it quite well. Just the 4 there for Layla and Alphonsine Mancias. So a horse that placed very high in this very division last year, but with a different rider. Colin Sweetnam joins us with Cobalt, acquiring the ride from his sister Olivia Sweetnam. Did a fabulous job here last year at the North American Youth Championships and moving up the levels. She's competing in the junior division later this week and passing the reins of Cobalt on to Colin. Of course, also following in the footsteps of their father, Shane Sweetnam, who rides internationally for Ireland. And Colin riding for Zone 4 as an individual. He won't be putting his scores towards the team effort, but he will be competing individually. Cobalt, 17 years old this year. Swedish warm blood gelding by Cyclone, owned by Sweet Oak Farm. Just a slight miscommunication there at the second fence. Colin just moving up into these higher levels and nails it the second time, so just needed a little bit more prep coming towards that jump. Really aerodynamic through that nut jets double. It's a little bend in that. This horse very experienced at 17. Teaching these Sweetnam kids the ropes of championship formats. So likely going to start ticking into time here. 4 for the refusal. And looks like 8 to add. So 12 in total there. But really overall, great jumping efforts. Not a rail down, just an unfortunate circle there. And the time penalties that incurred as a result. I think very bright future for that rider. Cecilia Chatterjee up next for Zone 2. Aboard Quintano Fortuna for Oakland Ventures. Just an 8-year-old. So impressive enough that these riders are this young, making it to a stage like this, but for a young rider to bring an 8-year-old horse up to this level, even more impressive. We'll see how they stand up to this test of this first individual qualifier. Another very compact build. Can be very helpful when it comes to some of those speed classes. These horses can get across the ground, jump through the air very quickly. Looks like plenty of scope to take on these fences. And a horse that's still learning. So a young rider doing a fabulous job bringing this horse along. But appears to be quite seasoned despite being 8 years old. And brings home the clear, 74.85, so nothing to add on the clock. So it becomes just the 4th clear round. Kennedy Chang joins us next from zone 10. Cadiz M, the ride for Odom Equestrian. 14-year-old Zangershy by Chippendale Zed. Oh, an early rail comes down for them. Back rail of that Swan Oxer. Now just have to stay focused as to not add any more faults to that score. Again, all faults incurred today will carry forward through the rest of the week. So these riders really focusing on as few penalties as possible. Pulling another vertical there at 10. Now up to 8. So the 2 rails come down there for a score of 8, 76.26 on the clock for Kennedy and Cadiz. So a little more than halfway through the starting order for this children's first individual qualifier. We're looking at 4 clear rounds at this point. We turn next to Haley Honegger, riding for Zone H. She's aboard Wild Hild for Alexia Honegger. 12-year-old Holsteiner by Cardino. So just giving our horse a little bit of a tour of the ring. Haley's horse going in one of those liquid titanium masks, which we're seeing become more and more common. Might be a bit funny looking at first, but they really do help the horses to be calm and focused. Just a bit of added comfort for them as they take on this new territory. Zone 8 comprised of Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. So another pair that had quite a bit of travel to get up to northern Michigan. Big spot there at fence 3, but covers the back rail. Big spot into the double as well, but this horse being very clever. Only making those distances work. Using some vocal aids to try and get the horse to collect. It's like a horse with a lot of natural foot speed. And we have another clear round there. Haley Honegger adds her name to the list of clears that we have so far, making it just 5 that have jumped clear at this point. We've seen 11 go. So just shy of a 50% clear round rate there. Alexa Curry steps in aboard C Music Zed, riding for Zone 4. I believe a returning competitor, also competed last year. Riding for GA Stables LLC, aboard the 15-year-old Zingerscheid Gelding by Crown Zed. Can see the little pom-pom braided into this horse's mane. Alexa riding for Zone 4, showing her team spirit. Unclear it is for C Music Zed and Alexa Curry, bringing home that clear round for Zone 4. So Zone 4 currently with 2 clear rounds. Looking in good shape. Still with 1 rider left to go for Zone 4. A few more riders left to go in the class. Riley True up next for Zone 2. My Way B and V. The ride for Bridal Gate Farm. 11-year-old Belgian Warmblood by Emerald. Riley got a little practice for this very event in the USHJA Zone Jumper Team Championships earlier this season. Probably the perfect practice environment. You get to show in this very ring and experience what it's like to jump a championship before you step into this slightly bigger championship. Gets the clear there. 3 in a row clear as well. Riley True and My Way coming home on a completely clean slate.
Around a 72-88 for Riley True, My Way CNB. So for third place, standings for individual children's qualifier. So you burn south with your hitting on a second. And Taylor Guidry now in fourth, Alexa Curry fifth, Cecilia Chatterton sixth. And those top six will ride for ribbons here.
Well, moving right along in our order, another rider competing as an individual. This rider representing Honduras, and also a returning competitor from last year's event, Lanier Alejandro Perez aboard D. Vadine. This is a 15-year-old Dutch warmblood by Corland. Has made appearances at the Central American Games, the Central American and Caribbean Games, and has 2 individual. Took a silver medal finish in last year's event as the sole representative for Honduras, and returning again to try to improve upon that. So he's had the partnership with this horse for several years now, continuing to get to know each other at the higher levels and stepping up into the championship format once again. But always very helpful to have a partner you know you can trust, one that you've been working with for quite some time. Ooh, a little tight there into the double. Covers that up with no problem. It's like a big stride on this horse. And sails on home for the clear. This puts him in a very good position, competing as an individual going into the next 2 competitions. He'll still jump in that team the team final, team day on, I believe, Friday. However, he will just be competing for himself. He won't be riding for any team medals. Lauren Padilla up next for Zone 10. Diadem de Revel VG. Riding for Highland Farm aboard the 13-year-old Danish warmblood by Diamant de Revel.
Other podium accomplishments included North American League Children's Hunter High Point Leader in 2022, a Zone 10 Children's Hunter Horse of the Year last season, as well as Zone 10 Medium Pony Horse of the Year for the 2022 year. Laura Padilla,
These children's divisions really just laying the groundwork for the upper levels of youth show jumping. Such a great introduction to the championship format. So working on 8 clear rounds now. So 8 tied at the top would go into the second round. She makes it 9, and a very quick time there too. Time isn't really going to affect you moving forward into the next rounds, but 66.72 is a very fast time. So gets a second clear for Zone 10 as well, so puts them in high contention as we look ahead to team day. First of two remaining, Isabella Smith rides for Zone 9 aboard Quinca. Quinca is a 14-year-old Holsteiner mare by Cassini, or by Quintero rather, out of a Cassini mare. Clears the last. The smile on her face, gets that clear done. First rider for Zone 9. So representing her home zone very well. Zone 9 made up of the northwestern United States, Washington, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. And that brings us to our final entry. Taylor Finkel riding for Zone 4 aboard Sheldon. 13-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding by Ukato.
Multiple wins of track colors in the children's juniors throughout the Winter Equestrian Festival, both this season and last year, 2022. Lila was once a pony hunter rider and came into the jumpers 3 years ago on a new horse and started consistently showing 2 years ago. Riding achievements include a bronze medal.
The bell sounds for our final pair on course, trying to join the 10 that have jumped clear. Put her name up there for a tie at the top. So coming to the last, still on the clear. Bit of a long one there, but gets the clear done. So very happy about it. So that makes it 11 clear. So there are 11 riders up there with a tie for the lead. Put Zone 4 in a very favorable position. 3 clears out of the 4 riders going for Zone 4. Zone 2 had 2 clears, Zone 10 had 2 clears. So there you see our list of results. Very impressive list of young riders coming forth, not fazed by the immense pressure put on them in this jumping competition. Just the first of what will be 3 days of competition for these children jumpers. This is their first individual qualifier. They'll have their team competition first thing tomorrow morning. They'll all jump once again and try to take top honors for their respective zones. Then on Saturday, they'll return for the children's individual final, so try to take the gold medal individually. So it's set to be a very exciting week for these children's jumpers. But up next, we have our pre-junior first individual qualifier. We have 28 to see in that division, so don't go anywhere. We will be kicking things off at 9:30 for that first individual qualifier for the pre-juniors.
Marina, coge el take tú, por favor. Coge el take tú. Coge el mando, güey. Necesitamos de vuelta aquí.
Bringing back our top six from the children's individual qualifier this morning. And sixth award going to Riley True with My Way DNV. Entry on Bob Right on the farm, Bedminster, New Jersey. Clear today for Riley, 72.88 the time, sixth place overall in this first individual qualifier. Fifth award going to Haley Honecker aboard Alexia Honecker's Will to Hilda. Penalty free 72.54. For Haley this morning. Amelia Burnside, longtime leader for this first individual qualifier, finishes fourth. Clear with her own and Casper at Lillehoff at 71.74. Individual qualifying round and finishes with a tie in second place. Our two horse rider combinations tied at their second. Isabella Smith with her own Kika and Taylor Minkle with her own Sheldon, both completing ball free at 68.49. individual qualifying. Joint second today, Taylor Finkel and Sheldon, tied with Isabella Smith and Kiki. And congratulations again to Taylor Finkel and Isabella Smith, the joint second for the first individual qualifying round. Taylor piloting Sheldon, Isabella piloting Kinka. Top call is going to go to Lauren Padilla, clear with a time of 66.72 aboard a BM Durabella Lychee owned by Highland Farm. Follows Verdes Estates, California. Congratulations again to Lauren Padilla, winning the first individual qualifying round for the children's jumpers at the 2023 North American Youth Championships. The Highland Farm entry DNM and Durabella Lychee. Lauren now leading us on a lap of honor, winning rider for the first individual qualifying round to open the children's section.
U.S. Equestrian. Thousands of equestrians have united
to watch, to learn,
to experience,
to compete. In the pursuit of fairness, safety, welfare, and joy.
From the grassroots to the Olympic Games.
Each with personal goals, but all united together for the joy of horse sports.
Ride United. Ride with US Equestrian.
If time truly flies when you're having fun, the fall season and the Traverse City Tournament of Champions will be here before you know it. The name says it all. Week 1 will attract the absolute best in horse sport. Week 2, they'll stay to play for the Silver Oak Jumping Tournament and the USHJA Young Jumper Championships. Week 3 will host the 5th leg of the 2023 Major League Show Jumping Tour and the highly coveted and prestigious American Gold Cup. The season's home stretch will offer the final share of $7 million in prize money and the Captive One Open Jumper Rider bonus. Join us for Traverse City's fitting finale, the Tournament of Champions, August 30th through September 17th.
Normal. Nice. You can roll with that. Or you can roll the dice. Be the brave and boldly go a different way. A different wave. It's the risk taken by the gamers, chasing the glimmers. We're the risk takers, the loud laughers, the grand Traverse Bay late night swimmers. It's about the destination. It's about the way. And at Turtle Creek Casino in Traverse City, life is a game, and this is how we play.
With NetJets, travel will always be personal. We do everything it takes to make every flight exceptional. Every single detail of your experience is personalized, just for you. As our standard is not just to meet our definition of perfection, it's to exceed yours.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
What makes good footing? More importantly, what makes safe footing? Is it the dimensions, the foundation, or the irrigation? What if we told you good footing is not a single aspect, rather the entire process, from the design and intended use to which arena builder you choose? With GGT footing, it's not just the most trusted arena additive in the world, but the experience and knowledge to ensure your footing is safe.
FEI really takes a different approach to product development and to the materials that we use in our products. We're always looking outside to see what the sports world and medical worlds are doing, and we apply that to the equine athlete. We love horses, so that's just what really fuels us to do what we do.
We fly horses anywhere around the world, whether it is a hobby horse or it's an Olympic champion. It's about getting an animal from point A to point B safely, in best of health, and in the quickest possible of time. We understand the business better than anybody else. We do not leave any stone unturned, and we are staffed by horse people from every layer of the company. We give horses wings around the world, across the globe, or across the street.
As a third-generation insurance agency owner, I don't underestimate the responsibility that we have in protecting our clients.
At Fitzpatrick Insurance, it's all about the relationships. The stronger the relationship we have with our clients, the better we can anticipate their needs.
As an independent insurance agency, we partner with top-rated carriers such as Auto Owners Insurance.
This allows us to craft a comprehensive solution tailored to each client.
If you're looking to go out, go up. To get up and go. Whatever you're looking for, you and anyone you bring with you will find it all and more at the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Get up and go.
Do something different, just to see what happens. Make a plan, but go where the night takes you. Leelanau is a place that feels like home. That is home, after all. And after the work is done, the lights are on, its doors are open. Possibilities, if you're open, to what happens next, to a game. Friends play here. Leelanau Sands Casino.
2023 will be the 14th running of the Silver Oak Jumper Tournament. A 501c3 charity, from its founding, our mission has always been twofold. First, to provide a jumper show format where horses and riders are celebrated with all the unique care imaginable. Second, our efforts have become inextricably intertwined with the Kevin Babington Foundation. If you think about it for a minute, it's so logical. If we are to promote and celebrate the sport's athletes at their peak, how could we be less invested in supporting those living their worst nightmares, recovering from spinal cord injuries, and this, the world's most beautiful sport? Together with our partners, the Morrissey Management Group, and the spectacular venue that is, in fact, Traverse City, we will collectively aspire to serve both objectives. So mark your show calendars and join us September 6th through the 10th. And for those who can't make it,